So I am going to run through the workflow that we will use for Codespaces on. Instead of saving everything to your computer right now, we can just use Codespaces on GitHub. So everything's going to go through GitHub. Um, I do recommend trying to get an external hard drive that you can plug into your computer. That way you can save all your projects to that hard drive, so you have a little extra space. But for right now, we could just use GitHub and Codespaces. So first thing you would do is go to GitHub, and then we want to create a new repository. So we would click this plus button, new repository. I'm just going to name it workflow demo, and I'm going to select an older description that I wrote. And so we'll make sure it's public. We're not going to use a template, and we'll add a README, and we'll keep get, ignore, and license blank. So we're going to create our repository. And so this is going to bring us to our repos page. This section right here is going to show all of the files that we'll add to our repository. Let's see. So the next thing we need to do is click this code button. We want to make sure the Codespaces tab is selected, and then we're going to create a Codespace on main button. So this is going to open up a new page. It's going to be like Visual Studio Code, but like in the browser. So we're going to let that load. And this agent pops up, this build with agent pops up. So what I do is I just X out of that so you have a little more space. So once everything loads, I'm going to clear this to give us more space in our terminal. All right, so usually the first thing we're going to do is we can just start creating files and working on the project. So the first thing would be like index.html. And then to get the boilerplate would be Shift 1. And then we will select this first one. I usually change this title to whatever the project is. And then we can go in the body and kind of add like a header and a paragraph just to add some content. And then we can add like a paragraph. If you just start typing lorem and then you select lorem, it'll kind of generate this dummy code for you, so you can have like some content on here. So the next thing we could add is a style sheet, and then we'll have to, and then it pops up over here. So then we'll go to our index.html, and we'll link our style sheet. So if you just start typing link, you can you can select it, and then it kind of finishes it for you. And all we do is we add our file name for our CSS. So now that our CSS is linked, we can go back to our CSS and kind of add some styles. So I'm just gonna add like something to the body for right now. Nothing crazy. So we'll add a background color like purple. And then I'll change the text color with color property to, I like that antique white on purple. All right. So now that we kind of have our project started a little bit, what we want to do is do the live servers. So I'm going to go ahead, since I think once you install it on this Codespace, it stays installed and you don't have to reinstall it. But right now it's not there. So it usually pops up over here. It'll say open with live server when you right click. So what we're going to do is we'll go to the extension tab, and then in the search bar we'll do live server, and we'll wait for that to pop up, and it's this purple one, and it's that Rick Wick Day name. So we'll click install, trust publisher, and we'll wait for that to install. Okay, So then we'll go back to our file from the sidebar. If you click this, it'll open up that where our files are. So when we right click on the index page, this paste button pops up. So we'll click that and then it opens up the side menu, the right menus. So then we'll do open in live server. And yeah, so we have our style sheet's working because our background and the colors changed. We just have a header and the paragraph tag for right now. So once you've kind of started your project and you're kind of done for right now, we want to commit our changes. So there's two ways to do that. We could go to this button right here and kind of write our commit message and commit and sync, and that would be the same thing. But I kind of want to show the terminal, so I'm just going to do it the terminal way. So the first thing, we want to add our files. So git add period adds all the files that we included, that we just created. So we'll press enter, and so we see that now they have this A on here for added. So they're added and ready to commit. So the next thing is we're going to commit. So git commit -m and then the quotes, and then we'll have a message of our, like, whatever we did. So added HTML and CSS. Enter. And so we see our files, they changed colors, so now they don't have these letters right here. So they're all committed, but we still need to push it to GitHub. So the last thing we'll do is git push. All right, and so we pushed everything to our repository. So if we go back to our repository page and we hit refresh, we'll see that our index file and our style sheet is there. So our new, and so if you click on it, it'll bring you to our codes. So this is all we have so far for the HTML. We hit back, we can go ahead and take a look at our CSS. We just have this one rule set for the body. So if you want to, I'm going to X out of this stuff right now. So if you wanted to go back, like to work on it again. So say you go back to GitHub and you look at your repositories and you pick whichever one you want to work on. So in this case, we'll go back to the workflow demo. Okay, and so we'll go back to this code button and we'll have our Codespaces tab right here. And so once you've already created a code space for this particular repo, it'll have that listed right here. So instead of the button. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll click that. Usually it makes like, it makes up a name. So there, it's usually like something weird names. So, but if you hover over it, it changes color. So you know you can click on it. So we're going to click on that. And it's going to bring us back to that editor page. And then if you would just continue on working on the project. Once you finished whatever you're working on in this session, you would redo git add, git commit, and git push like you would normally do. So I think that is it for the workflow demo.